because?
It helped us line and base better, line up and base better.
Yes.
All the space was kind of unnecessary.
Yes. Alright, so we,
Okay, so
Again.
the only sensors we use here are light sensor and rotation sensor.
so it's the slide, we're gonna line up against the light. You know where we are?
We're looking for the black.
And then looking for the gray.
And then we go to push the sign up. Or wrap it up.
And then we're gonna go back, so we can get all of the, we happen to have a touch penalty, that way we pick it up.
And then right
And-
there,
Was
it
it fail
activates,
safe?
yeah.
So,
Because if it didn't see the black line, that means that it was hitting this. And so once it keep on turning for 3 times and going forward, because once it saw the black line, that means that it's in here.
and
So
we
it only
only,
does it if it has to.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we only turn 3 times because otherwise you might end up turning out of base, so 3 times.
So it just backs up and just turns a little bit, backs up, turns a little bit?
And we
Okay.
need to, does it a max of 3, because we know that if we do it more than 3 times, it'll probably be out of the red zone.
Sorry.
You'd be too much that way.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that?
We thought it would be the best because, to ensure that we're in red because we have some experienced programmers and they know kind of what to.
Plus, we want to make sure that that mission works, so in case it didn't work with them, then it will be able to get in there, because we get a lot of points in
Yeah,
that.
270.
270 points with that mission, so it's
Yeah.
an important one to have.
Because all the missions before, we're collecting stuff to put in the sled.
Okay, so you have everything on board.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this mission, we're gonna deliver the truck, hit
To the
the,
area.
yeah,
Mhm.
hit the tan towers and get the gray towers back in.
And at regionals, we did it where we had the truck on the ground, but now we have it up above where we just flip it out, because at regionals, it would always have friction, but now it doesn't, and now we can collect things in the bottom part too.
And we also thought it'd be easier to slide down with the
Yeah.
truck up there, so it's more consistent.
But then it gets stuck.
So do you want to put the end view?
No,
We
it would
did
still
slide.
be good.
Okay.
Okay.
So it does the same beginning of play, so it still backs up and lines against here. So it goes to gray.
Back up is gray and goes to jump the truck under. And occasionally.
And hit the black line, hits the tan towers.
Squares up against the tan
So
towers.
you know what this is.
And then keep the black line there.
And then
And
turn
turn
back.
it.
And
then
then
square
square
up.
up.
So then we
So then we just
Back
add
to the
back
last
to it.
turn, and go back to base.
And before, after we collect the gray towers, we would have this attachment that would click on like those we showed you right now. And,
Because before there wasn't a wall here.
right, and so we would use that attachment to put the gray towers in here. And then at the end, like in the sleigh mission that we showed you before, where the robot ends in red, this would also, the gray towers would score in pink, so we do that, like, we do 2 missions in one thing. But it, yeah,
There's a handy little door. You just slide it in and click it.
and then, we would score 2 things, but it didn't work because it would cause too much friction. And scoring up against the wall wouldn't work with that, and took too long to put on, so we scratched it.
So we decided not to do that, but we were doing it with board strategies, which is why we decided we could try to do red and pink at the same time.
Mhm.
So like, this is what our idea was, so when our sleigh ended in red, the gray towers would be in pink, so it's like that, but it just didn't end up working when we tried it.
All right.
So there's a couple of you who want to show me the programming, and then the rest of you can stay over here.
Okay, so the next mission we're gonna show you is we're gonna score the ambulance in the yellow zone. And we, tried, before we were scoring strategies for this, and we decided that flicking it, the ambulance with the arm is the best strategy because it would take less time and, it wouldn't have as much friction on it.
Going all the way to the red zone.
Yep.
There we go.
And we use a jig to line up, because we want to know where we are every single time.
There you go.
Why don't you just use, you had your starting program here to come out of base, why didn't you
It
use
has
that?
all of the.
Well, it's when we flick it, it's at a better angle when we go this way, because otherwise it would just flick it that way
So
rather
it
than
does,
angle to
does
go
it
to the.
continuously runs?
But you could turn,
And after
Yes,
one
but too many
one
turns is
play
not
down,
good,
after
because
the
then you
next
have,
one.
okay,
And
the
it's-
turns can change each time.
right.
Because because
So this has.
it doesn't always go the certain number of degrees you want, there's always a margin of error
So
of
the
like
first one
a couple degrees, and that's not
when
really
you press the right button.
the thing that we want to
Add
measure in
one
the ambulance.
program.
And we're also going to
you do it or store that number. So
Okay.
I'm gonna add one, yes, next ways
So
for angling towards
Okay.
it.
because they all have names, right?
And, yeah.
Yep.
And we will do the, we have to change this one more.
Okay.
That would actually.
And it's on the left line.
Of this program.
Yes.
So in that mission, we also use the light sensor to know where we are on the board.
Yeah, because you're using it to back up to find,
Yeah.
to find the black line.
So we know exactly where we are.
And that's one of the things that we changed since regionals, we got the guide.
Because before we were just with the ambulance, we didn't have the last part of that where we have the guide. But we wanted to get more points, so we just found what we were doing.
Okay.
Alright, so now we are going to show you
So,
after.
can you flip it over quick?
So we're just.
So you have just, you have the one light sensor in the back, okay?
We tried using an ultrasonic sensor before, and we wanted to see the change in distance in like Slay and Dan Towers between this wall and this gray wall right here.
Yep.
And we tried doing it, but it wasn't very consistent when we tried it, and we really want consistency when we're running our programs.
So where would you have used it in your,
Oh, like,
Well, first we tried having you do this program here and here, so then we go where we want to put on the board.
Okay.
Here. And then we also tried from here to this wall to see if we were too close or too far, and then we also turn this way.
Yep.
If we were too far, and if we were too close, then we turn this way.
right, but wouldn't it be somewhat similar to what you did over here? Where if you didn't go far enough and see the black line,
Yeah.
where you turn just a little bit? Yep.
Yeah, we also, we tried to incorporate sensors as much as we could, because it was a very wide range.
Yeah,
So now we're going to show you something cool about our robot. So basically, our robot has more than one base.
we have 3 bases, including an obstacle.
So now what we do is we can just take our robot out of this space and put it into this one very easily. He just clicks in like that. Yep.
so.
And so
Okay, yeah, let me see that again, okay? Alright,
we have little rooms that it just goes in and
And we have gears also, so that can.
okay, and then how does it lock tight?
Well,
we have connectors that connect into this.
Okay, so you're using the, it's holding in with the pins here?
Yeah, and there's 4 of them to make sure it's pulled tight.
Okay, is that the 3 long pins, so it's always gonna
Yeah.
stay in there, and then you have the larger part sitting right here?
Yeah, and we also have rubber bands here to keep this L in, to make sure it never goes
I
out.
just wanna see how hard.
Here, you have to press the back.
I gotta hold it in the back.
Yeah,
Hold it, it's again.
Alright, that works out well, yeah.
it's really, and we found it really easy to do, because we wanted to do this fast and efficiently.
And
Yep.
we used to try it with poles,
No,
using the binder, but then it was really hard to like get it on the poles.
See,
Okay,
this
so
is,
do you use this, okay, so this you can just push it up against that and you line it up that way? Okay, alright,
and so this is what we originally thought of, using poles, but that took too long, and you had to be really accurate.
oh, you had to get all 4 of those in there,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, oh,
But we changed it to this design, which is much easier,
A lot
Okay.
faster.
yeah.
And we'll tell you what the different things. So this
Okay.
one is for speed, and this is for all the other missions. And it kind of, when we were looking at it, it was like an off-road vehicle, so we used this. And then this base, the shorter one, it's a nice height, so that way when we use our wall followers, it goes against the wall nicely, and it's not too tall, not too short, and so it works well for.
Because we followed the wall with this wall followers right here,
yep,
to make sure we know where we
And for
are.
this next mission that I'm
And then we're going to do the whole forward.
we're gonna do the cargo plane, the tsunami,
For the result.
truck. And we use a wall follower on this mission too.
This is.
So following the wall.
I have this little fast to this.
This right up against the wall, you know,
Now following the.
that way we can get it in the angle. And then this goes back to base.
So, in this mission, to know where we are, we line up with the wall, as we've done in past missions.
Yeah, and you start up against the wall, yeah.
So why
And we
3
follow
so,
the wall.
is there, did you find an advantage using the smaller tires on this mission compared to using the larger tires
Well,
there?
like we said, we were looking at the off-road vehicles, we were looking at like the sports sort of cars where they were short to the ground and had smaller wheels, just because we thought that would go a little faster.
So we looked in reality, like at cars that we have today, and at how they have like smaller rears compared to like Toyotas, they have smaller rears compared to like a Jeep, which is more off-road.
Yep.
And, but these ones these ones were for the purpose of lining up with this wall, because these wheels are kind of too high up to really line up.
With those to attach the wall followers.
Okay.
Okay, before, at regionals, we used a forklift to get the truck.
Yeah.
And this was our forklift that we used. And we tried doing it lots of times, but it just wasn't as consistent as we would want. And
Yeah,
the truck kept on falling off when it was
So
turning.
what would happen is,
This is.
we would, we would try to line up the forklift with this, and then that's
Okay.
what would happen.
We'd use the worm gear here to go up.
Yeah,
You should show them how you, the multiple bases you have on there.
okay, so, our multiple bases work, like this. So these are for, this base is for cheaper, this base is for. So,
Pull it out.
pull it out like this.
These are like chassis.
Cars, so then we put them in here, and we find this easier because it has more
You want to
power.
do the programming or how to do
And
it?
the wheels make it go like
For the different missions.
faster and,
Okay.
So yeah, you see you, right?
yeah,
Yep. Well, it snaps in.
How do you guys like pick?
yeah. And it's really easy to use. And
Now we are going to show you the,
animals.
alright, do you also have those? So
I
basically,
mean, like,
since regionals, we've also added to this
sorry, I
mission.
didn't.
So at regionals, when we did this, the tree would always fall flat onto
We
the,
want to try this.
yes, the electrical line. So we added this attachment, so that when the tree fell, it would just bounce off and will never go flat onto electrical lines again.
So this wheel hits the tree, and then this axle goes under it, so that when the tree falls, it never hits
It
the.
doesn't land on the power lines.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the.
See?
So,
Okay,
We're
now following the law.
Very nice.
Two wall followers because before, we would turn into the
Yeah.
wall and we'd get
It's just reading
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Sorry,
before,
couple more minutes, so show us.
Alright.
when we first were, I'll talk about it.
Alright,
When we first were doing this mission, we had one wall follower, but now as you can see, we have two. That's because when we just had one wall follower, as it was going backward, the wheel always hit this wall and didn't actually go back to base fully, so we couldn't get the animals for the points. And so we added a second wall follower to keep the distance between the wall and the robot the same and consistent the whole way through.
alright, so I'm gonna show you this space. So this space is for the obstacle mission, this space is specifically designed for it. So at regionals, it was a lot shorter, but that wasn't working so well because we wanted to make it longer so that way we could have as many wheels as we could touching the ground at once. Because at regionals,
Someone's running
sometimes,
too while you're talking.
alright, so sometimes it would still, but now, we don't actually run this mission in 2.5-minute runs, but,
But we just thought we could show you.
Yeah.
yes. And
So is the gears, no, your gears are slipping a little bit there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that in, I assume that you don't want them to slip there,
Yeah,
but do you want them to slip when they're over here?
So.
it doesn't affect it that much.
It's, no, they slip because we're squaring up as,
Do you guys have any trouble like
don't
doing
be sure
grade
to
versus?
square up. So
Right.
that's why they
So much
slip.
power.
yeah, so it's better to know what reality.
And so this base is a 4-wheel drive connected by these chains from the 2 gears. And then also this is a counterbalance because the top was so top heavy, so it always tip. So that's why we added that. And then also the rest of our missions, it pulls, but this mission pushes because we have to turn around.
So what could you do to avoid the slippage when you were going
Well, that's what it's there for.
Try to attach the gears more.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Yep, thanks everyone. Good luck the rest of your day. Good luck.
We made it all the way to there.
So this is what our base was before. It was much shorter, but we made this longer so
Okay,
it could have both wheels when it's going over on the ground as it's going
The
over.
other one, sometimes there'd only be one wheel go down to here, and then keep on staying on one.
Alright, nice. Excellent work,
Thank you.
very good.
What was your top score in regional?
300?
Yeah, I know that we've added a lot more points to our score from regionals.
So now our max score is 475.
475, yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Oh, we need to give you back your points.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our last.